One of the characteristics of the southern region of the United States that I've always appreciated the most is their historic ability to take something old and reimagine it, reinvent it, and present it as something new. And you can see examples of that in pretty much every sector of Southern culture, from cuisine to literature. Probably the best examples are from music. I mean, it's the birthplace of bluegrass and country and rock and roll. So when you hear declarations that we're in a new wave of goth, a third wave of goth, which I think is true, it shouldn't come as a surprise that DJs and bands from the South are right in the middle of it. Some names just off the top of my head are DJ Rick Batts and Rose Garden Funeral Party, Son Sombre, Scary Black, and this next band that we're interviewing, the Kentucky Vampires, who have solidified their place as real monsters of goth with their previous releases, especially their most recent release from early this year, their second full-length LP, Crimson Curse. So joining us from various places in the country now are the Kentucky Vampires themselves, or three of them at least. Hi guys, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Thanks for having us.
Going really good. So let me just introduce you real quick to our viewers. We've got Zach Campbell, who's the original founder of the band, on guitars. We have Motuvius Rex on bass, one of the newer members of the band. And Abbas, is it Marler?
Yes. That's
on
right.
vocals. Awesome. And missing is Tom Warnock, who is your new drummer. So that's kind of exciting. Maybe one of you, I guess it would make the most sense probably for Zach, give us a brief synopsis of your history as a band.
I guess to put it really quickly, I was in a goth rock band before, and I really started getting really into like a Mexican death rock and that kind of sort of thing. And I wanted to start doing more death rock kind of material. And the guy who I was working with in that band really wasn't into it. So I started as a side project, and I met Albie Mason from Scary Black at one of our shows. And we just started talking, and I just said, hey, I've got this material. Are you interested maybe to do a collaboration? Because he was at the time doing his solo project, The Mess, which maybe some of your viewers don't know about. You should check it out. It's really amazing stuff. And he agreed, and that's how Kentucky Vampire started. We eventually, through a friend of a friend, found Abbas, who filled in on bass. And then we were writing material for a full-length album, and Albie, more or less, I think at the time was in 4 different bands or something. And we just politely went to him because it was taking a long time for material to get wrote, just because of how busy he was with his personal life and all the other bands and stuff. So we just politely asked him, like, hey, do you want to step down? And he did. And I was kind of ready to kill the band at that point because I didn't know if we could find a better vocalist or, someone on that level. And Abbas said, well, what if I take a crack at it? And I said, sure, why not, And he sent me a recording with his voice, and it absolutely floored me, and that's how it started. And since then, we've gone, I don't know, Abbas, 5, 6, 7 different bass players, and finally ended up with Sean Matuvius. Then we wrote Crimson Curse, and here we are.
Yeah, well, the bass playing is amazing on Crimson Curse, so stick with
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. He's a keeper.
Yes.
Talk about your
agree.
new
We
drummer.
agree.
What was the idea around, incorporating a live drummer into your sound?
I think it just evolved that way.
Yeah. We really wanted it, and Tom is a close friend of all of ours, and he's been in tons of bands too, and he's an amazing drummer, and we were just trying to figure out how we can make that work, because we do use backing tracks live with synths and second guitars and stuff. So it's been an experiment, and Tom's always been a big supporter of us, him and his wife. So we're above talent and everything else, it's great to have another friend in the band. So,
Yeah, we have a DJ collective here in Louisville called Radio Arcane, and Tom is part of that. He's a DJ, and I'm in that. Zach's in that now, and it's like with the I guess kind of transition to Zoom and virtual life, we're able to add people from far away and not just here in Louisville too. But Tom is pretty tight with all of us, and so it just kind of organically sort of happened.
Yeah, that's great. So I've heard of Radio Arcane, but I'm not super familiar. Can you tell me and our viewers more about it? Do you do regular live stream events and stuff like that?
Before the pandemic, we were strictly work out of an art space called Art Sanctuary, which actually Radio Arcane is a program of. It's a nonprofit, but it's like a 26,000 square foot building of artists. So it's a collective space, and we interview bands that play there. Like we've done Fearing, Temple of Angels, Wingtips, Scary Black obviously has been involved.
Us.
One of our other DJs, Kaleidoscope Kim, has a band on Swiss Dark Nights called Broken Nails. So we have a lot of stuff going on musically. I have a solo project. Albie obviously is in like has his hands. He's making too much music to stay in one thing all the time, it seems like. So I don't know. We just have a creative group of people that we like we call it dark eclectic music because a lot of it's like minimal synth and dark wave. It's not all just gothic rock.
Sure.
And we're kind of all over the place. My solo project kind of leaks into like neo folk and things like that, gothic folk. And you were talking about Kentucky, and that's part of that element, I guess, too.
Yeah, for sure. And now that you're so well known, I know artists from other areas are kind of reaching out to collaborate with you as well. Brandon from Son Sombre had some kind of a role in your
he mastered
current album, right?
Yeah, Brandon mixed and mastered Crimson Curse, and he is going to mix and master our next release also.
Very cool. All
I
right.
think that was another step in the evolution of sound too. I think
Yeah,
he really helped us technically kind of in a production kind of manner on that end.
Yeah, the production on that album is great,
Mhm.
for sure. The guitars definitely sound different. You can kind of pick them out better, and it just sounds amazing. I like all of your previous releases too. Don't get me wrong; they're all really good. How much do you think Southern culture has influenced your band or not influenced your band? Zach, I know that you listen to and are influenced by bands all over the world, including, I know you like a lot of bands from Mexico, and you're friends with the Acid Bats and stuff. Not the Acid Bats.
yeah, Acid Bats, yeah.
Yeah. So have you kind of tried to divorce your sound from the South, or do you hear kind of reverberations of previous sounds from that region in your music?
I feel like on Crimson Curse, I was really listening to, the first release I was listening to exclusively Spanish and Mexican death rock bands and, South American, Central American bands. And that influence, I think, is really, really obvious in the work I did on that album, especially like Los Carniceros del Norte and Acid Bats and Los Gorgones and things like that. The second album was I was just listening to 90s goth rock from, The Mission, Nosferatu, Rosetta Stone, all those guys. And I feel like that influence you can pick up in Crimson Curse a lot. And, to segue into the new album, the new album is different. It sounds different than Crimson Curse so far. For me as a guitarist, I don't know what's influencing it, if it's my surroundings or, listening to all kinds of different kinds of music, but it's taking a more modern kind of thing. And I don't know that a particular type of music is really influencing me more than, say, an emotion or like a subconscious of, I live very in the South now, and maybe that's rubbing off on me too. I don't know. But it's different, and for me as a musician, it's a different experience writing this new album. And I really can't put into words what it is that's different about it. But I think when you hear it, you'll feel it. So
I think we've all grown with production too.
Yeah.
I mean, when I listen to Zach's guitar now, you know, I mean, there's been an evolution, and he's recording with better microphones and externally, and just, I don't know, it's richer. I think it's just evolving in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the next release. I think it's going to be a really nice release.
Motuvius, who are some of your long-term influences on bass, and maybe some bassists that you've kind of got your eye on right now, more current stuff?
I mean, I've been pretty old school, and broad. Like, not all of my bass influences probably are in the Gothic genre, but I would be definitely lying if I didn't say Craig Adams from the Sisters of Mercy. And I mean, to me, when after First and Last and Always ended, the Sisters of Mercy kind of just ended for me. The rest was just kind of Andrew Eldritch's solo project, because I needed Craig.
Craig and Wayne, man.
Yeah. Well, I liked him before Wayne, so definitely Craig. But I mean, Wayne's one of my favorite guitar players for absolutely certain.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of them are pretty standard. Definitely like Peter Hook.
For sure.
I would say Chris Squire, which is an odd one from Yes.
Odd.
You know, is definitely, I can't play as well as him, but he definitely had a big influence on me.
Absolutely. And the psychedelic bands that he was in before in the 60s, they're all like,
For real. Yep.
Real quick, funny Craig Adams story. My band, the Ink Bats, opened for Spear of Destiny, who Craig was touring.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Nice.
last year, I guess it was. And I showed up, and as soon as we were loading in, I realized that the thing that I had eaten for lunch must have been spoiled, and I had food poisoning. And so I was all looking forward to, you know, hanging out with Craig Adams, and of course Kirk Brandon, who I had met before. I'd booked one of his bands before a couple of years back. But yeah, so my entire conversation with Craig Adams was for a few minutes, you know, getting to talk to him, and then going to the bathroom to throw up, and then feeling a little better and coming back and hanging out for a few minutes. And he just thought that I was just, I don't know, insane or whatever. And they definitely didn't want to really hang out with me too much. I kept assuring them it's just food poisoning, and it's not contagious. But anyway, so that's my only Craig Adams story. But yeah, he's a hero of mine, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Abbas, I'm a big fan of Southern Gothic writing style, the literature genre from the South, starting in the 20s and going all the way to the 50s and 60s with authors like William Faulkner and Flannery O'Connor. And I've noticed that a lot of the themes that you cover in your lyrics were central to that style of writing. Do you have a literature background? Are you are you a fan of that style of writing? Where do your themes come from?
I would say it's safe to say that a lot of the influences are almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm a classically trained cellist, so my you know, taste in music are quite various, but yes, it's hard to pinpoint who has more influence over the other. But you know, I remember the Cult before they were the Cult. You know, things like that. Just going way back when they had somewhat of an influence. In my earlier years of life, you know, I can remember seeing, you know, Robert Plant before he's putting on the makeup, you know, things like that. And so I know that's, you know, completely different, but so yeah, it's very hard to pinpoint. It just basically just comes to me, and that's the best way I could explain that.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you ask for if it just comes from sort of a natural spring? You know, that's the best. That's
Yeah.
So you all are working on new material. Tell us about that.
Yes, the third album. We're in the process of getting everything together and basically trying to tap into the energies for that particular or for this new album. And it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be quite different. It'll be even more different than Crimson Curse was, and
But still dark and gothic.
still
I
dark
don't
and
want to
gothic,
scare
yes,
anybody.
for sure.
Yeah.
You're still gonna find a lot of the aesthetics and a lot of the you know the creepy stuff that we've kind of put out there into the public, and so it's gonna be pretty exciting.
Sounds good. Yeah, I didn't imagine that there would be like a Sunshine Pop album from you guys or
Oh
anything
no.
like that.
Don't tempt us.
So roughly, I know there's probably no release date, but roughly when can we expect a new album from you?
We're still in talks over that. We've we have spoken about a possible release this year, later this year, but possibly next year as well, dependent on
I'm gonna say early next year.
how everything
Yeah.
Estimation.
right, how everything happens, from now until till then.
I just know last year we were planning on having it done in December and we didn't get it out till March. It's just even after we're done with the songs, it's just
That's a process.
It just takes a minute for everything to get where it needs to be and ready to launch.
Yeah, things are probably a little more complicated now with coronavirus and shelter in place stuff. We were planning on a lot of things last year that didn't happen this year. I know you're thinking about possibly coming out to the West Coast for some shows, which of course didn't end up happening. Is that a goal of yours, I assume, for when we're able to get on stage in front of people again?
Absolutely. We'll go anywhere as long as we're wanted.
Oh, you got a lot of fans out here on the West Coast for sure.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah. Do you know DJ Ms. Margot from Portland?
Yes. Yeah.
She's a big fan.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, awesome.
Cool. Okay, great. Well, I really appreciate you sitting down and talking with us and sharing your perspective on your band. And we really look forward to the new material.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Another thing that I think we'd like to say is we are working on a physical release for Crimson Curse finally, and it should be coming soon. But that's really all we can say right now. So.
Sure. Will that be what, CD, vinyl, bowl?
Vinyl.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Oh, that's fun. Awesome. Good. Great. Well, congratulations. It's a great record.
Thank you.
I've been listening to it for a while and kind of can't stop.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and we'll keep in touch and talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. You're watching New Music Mondays on twitch.tv/DavyBonesOakland. Hi, everyone. Hope you liked that video. If so, please like and subscribe to receive notifications when we upload more content. New Music Mondays is a live stream show every Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/DavyBonesOakland. It features myself and a weekly guest DJ spinning new releases in the world of dark music, post-punk, goth, dark wave, as well as interviews with the people that make the music happen. So it's a lot of fun. Make sure to join us live. Again, that's every Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., or actually about 9:30 Pacific time. The audio will always be uploaded the next day to my Mixcloud page, mixcloud.com/DavyBonesOakland. And thanks for watching the video on YouTube. The interviews will all be uploaded to the YouTube channel, as well as an occasional kind of behind the scenes video as well. All right.
Thanks again.